Hi, I am live at the least, well, maybe not the least US friendly time, but hey, I go live where I am. Anyway, so I made a community post yesterday. I don't know if I'm going to use these. We'll set these aside today. Also, cheers. This is apparently an alcohol free spirit, which is interesting. This channel video isn't sponsored as of now in the history of this channel as of today, as of this moment right now. Who knows what'll happen later in the day anyway. When I was in the airport in Munich coming back from my friend's wedding, we were like passing through and looking for souvenirs. I did it again. Half the deck is like face up, half the deck is face down. Anyway, there was this gin that we tried. There was this lady with gin, and because like Reem, I'm like not obsessed with. I want to find a good gin. She told me one time about like some of the benefits of it and stuff. I was like, whoa! And I've had a few since then, but they've been, I would say, mostly painful experiences. Or neutral, like painful to neutral experiences. I feel like I hadn't found one that I was like, oh my gosh, I am obsessed until I tried this raspberry Whitley Neal in the airport in Germany. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I am obsessed. And it's not, it didn't, when I looked it up, it didn't necessarily seem like it was the easiest to come by in the States. So I was like, oh, well, next time I go, Judgment and the Ten of Wands. The Lover in the Ten of Wands. I just saw the angel at the top and I thought Judgment, but it was actually the Lover. Maybe that's a message. It kind of is a message, actually. You'll see why. But yeah, it's not that easy to find in state. It wasn't that easy to find for me. I'll shuffle it. Why not? I feel like shuffling cards, but those feel like they're done being shuffled. So when I came over here, I was like, next time I got to get me some Whitley Neal. And we were on the Amazon and they had an alcohol free version. So we got that one. So as always, this isn't sponsored by anything except for healthy, responsible choices, or at the very least, conscious choices. But at the same time, choices and decisions in your life to make are yours. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, that's what we're doing today. An alcohol-free spirit, which is interesting. It almost gives, I mean, of course, like alcohol-free gives a clarity, but it almost like it takes me back to, it makes me think of, it reminds me of the stories of the oracles of antiquity, like of Delphi, and how they would like get intoxicated in one way or another, like cave fumes or whatever, put themselves in a state of trance. And then the message of the oracle would have to be translated by like a scribe or somebody, right? Because they would often, I guess, speak nonsense. But the alcohol free spirit, I don't know, it feels like it doesn't need translation. Anyway, so from the community posts, we were out and about Saturday trying to find somewhere to go. I'm not trying to find somewhere to go. Just, we were out and about Saturday. I'm not a super like, sometimes it's only happened twice. This is the second time I've gotten a notification for when I go live, which is kind of weird because that doesn't happen. I can't subscribe to myself. You know what I mean? Anyway, I got a notification that I'm live. Cool. 11 hours ago. Anyway, the community page. So we were going to a museum, art gallery after we ate at a place that I've been wanting to eat at for a good hot minute now because it was good. They opened up a new location in the city. We went to the new one, and then we went to the art gallery. On the way, we heard like parade drums. And I was like, what? And then we like found the parade. And this was the part that we had seen. So it's the first picture. So I'm going to look for judgment because even though the colors are kind of reversed, it is an interpretation of this flag. Instead of it being like a white cross on the red background, it's a red cross on a white background in judgment, which was giving me almost like judgment in reverse, maybe, or an inverse judgment, which is why I was like, oh, the lovers, it's perfect. And then at the end of the same ones, we saw these fellas. We saw these guys with their hermit lanterns. Well, okay. They were carrying like hermit lanterns. And I was like, oh, I need a picture. Because the hermit was the one that stole the star that was in the constellation. Apparently, Virgo is hiding something. I knew it. That's that's the secret to Virgo's magic. I'm just kidding. It's not. Or maybe it is. Who knows? The constellation. So I saw those and I was like, oh, so I'm going to look before and after the hermit. I think I'll look before and after the Six of Wands first because that's the most paradey card. And we're just going to follow it. And then I saw this hallway thingy. We walked by this. We didn't go down. And I was like, ooh. And then we came down Mason's Avenue. And this makes me think of the Mason, which is the Three of Pentacles in the SKT. So we're also going to pull before and after the Three of Pentacles. And I'm sure there was other stuff other days that I took pictures of. And I was like, should I post it? Like, the concert, vibrant soundscape, energy, and unity. Love it. We saw unity in the wedding yesterday, but now we see the unity in concert. Cool. Road, traveled paths, embrace the journey. Two places we haven't seen yet. Cool. All right. So let's just get into this and we'll see what happens. Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Pentacles at the cut, which is interesting because, again, the Knight of Pentacles was the one that had the charged pentacle. The Page of Pentacles, pentacle was uncharged. And then it's like this something in the wheel like turns and something is unsealed or released. And there's a Sphinx on top of this Wheel of Fortune. The last time we saw the four fixed signs was on the World card, and the Earth of Leo was missing. It was the missing sign and the missing element. Cool. I'm gonna give it. Oh, not looking for flippers, but the Ace of Pentacles came out. The Ace of Pentacles is the world to me, like our world. There's something interesting about this Ace of Pentacles, though, because I saw like these rays, but the rays are coming off of the hand. They're not coming off of the pentacle. Because if they were, they would be on the top side of the pentacle. Speaking of Virgo, when I did the raw rune readings, Virgos was something, it was like, it's not the magic, it's not the needle that's magic. It was like Virgo was doing some kind of magical embroidery, I guess, with a needle. And then it's like you find out that the needle is an average, ordinary, everyday needle. It's the hand that holds the needle that's magic. Chariot at the bottom of the deck with 2 sphinxes. It's almost like there are multiple riddles. It's like there's the riddle of the world, and then there's the riddle of the self. Hey, how you doing? How art thou today? Okay, let's see. And now the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles was at the bottom of the deck when the Ace of Pentacles came out. And the Two of Wands. Two of Pentacles, Two of Wands. We saw the Two of Cups yesterday. All right. Look at it, 2, and then a cut. Anything that falls out is to be discarded because I'm looking before and after cards. So, 6 of Wands. If I run to the bottom of the deck, I'll shuffle it and start over. I'm going to pull from the top, looking for the 6 of Wands, and then Judgment, and then the Hermit, and then the 3 of Pentacles. And we'll look before and after and see what 2 roads or pathways form. 7 of Swords, the Devil, and the Hangman. But it's like stealing those swords from the devil. Love that. And then the Hangman is hereafter. So it feels like, as an aside, maybe, there was some kind of like not necessarily stagnation. We hit a point. We hit the boundary, the border of our knowing in a certain situation. And we had to maybe come up with new information to fill the gaps. Whatever we filled the gaps with was inspired or motivated by this devil energy. And so it almost like created a misconception or a misassociation between things. But now it's like the 7 of Swords is being removed. Maybe there's like a new knowing that's coming in, which that's almost the energy of, it was the air and the water of Libra. If the air of Libra led the water too much, then there would be like potholes that weren't completely filled in that road. The potholes that weren't completely filled was the Hangman and the Devil before. But now there's like new information that fills the potholes all the way. So it's like new information that's going to replace how we filled in the gaps, and then we'll be in the Hangman. So it removes the devil from this Hangman energy for us to, and then that almost goes to yesterday. At that point of frustration that leads to surrender, when the surrender that leads to a knowing that comes in, it's almost like that. She does give like lasso of truth energy, because it's like this golden rope holding the Hangman to the tree. I saw that yesterday, but I didn't mention it. Cool. All right, that's the top 3. Let's see. First, and I'm going to do these in order. So, Ace of Swords and the 6 of Swords. The Ace of Swords and the 6 of Swords is after that Hangman. So yeah, it's that new knowing. The Ace plus the 6 is the 7. Now, last time we saw, I think it was the Ace of Swords and the 5 of Swords that gave us the 6 of Swords. No, it was the Ace of Swords and the 6 of Swords that gave us the 7 of Swords energy last time. The 7 of Swords was, I forget where it was moving or how it was moving, not too long ago. So that energy is there again. The Ace of Swords with the 6 of Swords being that 7 of Swords. A new knowing that causes us to change direction or whatever. So So we're looking for that Six of Wands. Ooh, wow. That was a little interesting string of majors. Ooh, found judgment. We'll look at it, sure. I'm not going to take it, so we're going to reshuffle it. But judgment right now is in between the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Wands. Now, the Nine of Wands in the Witch's Tarot, specifically for me, is a version of the Queen of Wands. Woo! Thank you. But let's see where it ends up. I kind of want to remember this. I'm going to take a picture so that I can remember. I can remember. This Queen of Wands is after an interesting. So it's the Six of Cups, the Emperor, and the Nine of Cups. And then it's the Moon, the World, the Sun, and the Hierophant. So the World is, the World is in between the Moon and the Sun. Is this a lunar eclipse? Because when the Moon is in between the Sun and Earth and it's positioned right, it's a solar eclipse. Well, because it's when the Moon passes through Earth's shadow. So this is a lunar eclipse energy. That's after this Six of Cups, Emperor, Nine of Cups. We saw the Six of Cups recently. We saw the concrete veil yesterday. Interesting. And then, no, these were here. Yeah, and after the Sun is the Hierophant. This is full moon Taurus energy too. Because, that's full moon Taurus energy. Because if the Sun is on one side of the planet in Scorpio and the moon is directly opposite, it's probably sitting in Taurus on the other side of the world. That's a full moon. They can't get any further apart, but they're on an ecliptic, so maybe. Anyway, the Hierophant, and then it was the Queen of Wands. Judgment, the Nine of Wands. Cool. I just want to mention it to see if the position changes. And then it's Death, the Seven of Wands, and the Fool. If you're curious. If you are intrigued. Six of Wands is a card that we're looking for. I guess we could look for the Chariot. It's like if there were people on horses in the parade. People on horses. There were magicians. Oh, goodness. The Hermit. I'm going to take a picture of this too. It's in reverse, but I don't know how. Oh, the King of Wands is here after the Lover. Interesting. The counterpart to the Queen of Wands. And then it's the Five of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the King of Swords. But the Hermit is in reverse. It's almost like there's a missing step here between the Hermit and the King of Swords. Because if you turn the Five of Pentacles this way, oops, sorry. If you turn it, it came out this way. If you turn it that way, it'll be in reverse like the Hermit. But the Hermit would have to make two moves to go upright like the King of Swords. That's why I say it's almost like there's a missing card. Because it's like four. You flip it four times. Or three. 1, 2, 3. You'll flip it three times to get to this King of Swords. This is almost giving flipping something. These are square cards. If you flip it, that's a square, right? So 3 squares is a T-square energy. But I guess technically 2 squares is a T-square. 2 squares is not 2 squares in an opposition, but 3 in anyway. Between the Hermit, now upright, but then in reverse, and the King of Swords, it's almost that energy when an opposition is easier to resolve than a square because it's an opposition. Because it's 180 degrees, right? And the Seven of Cups is the missing configuration. The Seven of Cups is here before the Five of Pentacles. If my brain was working, I'd remember what the Queen of Wands was about. The sun, the moon, it was that full moon Taurus, lunar eclipse, Pisces. Oh, Virgo. Yeah. It was a full moon Pisces lunar eclipse was the last one we had. And then we had, it had to be a full moon Libra lunar eclipse earlier in the year. Solar eclipse Aries, total solar eclipse Aries, annular solar eclipse in Libra. Interesting. Let's continue. I guess the Seven of Cups would have been before the Lover and the King of Wands because I pulled them too. Cool. This many cards left, and we still haven't gotten to our parade yet. And then the Page of Pentacles is behind this King of Swords. The King of Swords came out, I feel like, within this same reading. The King of Swords was very knowledgeable, but not necessarily wise, right? Because wisdom was using salt water to make the Roman concrete. Knowledge was knowing that they used water and using water. Wisdom was knowing the water that they had access to. And it was the Page of Pentacles. We saw the night earlier. It was the Page of Pentacles that takes the uncharged pentacle to the desert to try to activate the art gallery library. Maybe that's why the Hermit is still in reverse and there's this missing step between these two. The opposition can be easier to resolve than the square sometimes, but it's almost like the square has more to teach or the square has more to offer. Okay. I saw the Three of Pentacles like way long ago. The Three of Pentacles was like, I feel like it was right after something else I was talking about. And that's another card I was going to look for. But I guess we're gonna skip it. No Three of Pentacles this go around. So how that one shifts and changes, I don't know. Looking for the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands. Is this going to be at the top of the deck? I literally have 4 cards left. 3 cards left. 2 cards left. 1 card left. Okay. I completely missed the Six of Wands in this first go around. I said if I don't find the card, I'll shuffle it and then we'll do it again. So, cutting to the. What if I cut to the Six of Wands? That would be hilarious. The Chariot and the Empress. They almost look like they could be the same person in this deck, don't they? This is giving me like Warrior Empress vibes, which is kind of like the Nine of Wands and the Queen of Wands in the Witch's Tarot. It's like before the Empress got pregnant, maybe even while she was pregnant, but further from her due date, her delivery date, she was this charioteer. 3 plus 7 is a 10. 3 and 7. The 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. Oh my gosh. And then there's the Six of Wands at the cut. The Six of Wands at the cut with the Empress. Ha 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 ha. LOL. OMG. No way. What if the Six of Wands is at the cut? And then it's at the cut. What if? May it be so. Okay. Ooh, 10 of Cups at the bottom, but we're going to cut it. Again, I'm going to pull from the top. I'm looking for the Six of Wands. And I guess I'm going to look at the significators every time, and we'll see how they change throughout this. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse, the Five of Wands on its side, and the Four of Swords the same way. These are the top 3 this time. I'm not going to read these every time. Is this video going to be like 5 hours long? Am I ever going to eat lunch? The answer to one of those questions is yes. At least one. This is an interesting energy. It feels like the Knight of Pentacles, this charged pentacle, is not in resonance with the Five of Wands. This Five of Wands energy will push the Knight of Pentacles away. Last time we saw the Five of Wands, it was with the Emperor who had like control issues or whatever. But with the Four of Swords behind the Five of Wands, this is guiding the Knight of Pentacles in an almost like reverse psychology type of way. It's like if you have to move a ball in a magnetic ball in a maze, but instead of like a top-down attractive force where you like just drag the ball, it's using a repulsive force to push the ball forward, which is interesting. And that's why it's like the Four of Swords comes right after this Five of Wands. It's a show to get the Knight of Pentacles to go somewhere else. Looking for the Six of Wands. And if I can find it this time, that'd be great. All things as they should be. Right? got it. Ooh, all things as they should be. The high priestess. So I'm turning these up, right? The Six of Cups and the Six of Wands were facing the same direction. The high priestess was upright, but I'm going to turn it all upright. Now, what's interesting is before the Six of Cups is our Empress. The Six of Cups, the Six of Wands, and the High Priestess. 662, 3662. Now I'm looking for Judgment. I don't think I've passed it, but we'll see. I don't even know what that means. Ovasist. I know it's Russian for something. It's not. No, numbers is Shisla. I did global connections in high school, and every quarter was a different language. I was there for Japanese and Russian. And we listened to Earworms. And I just heard the lady go, Ovasist. Like in my brain, she went, Ovasist. I was like, I ain't thought about that in a minute. Where's the translate? Translate. There we go. And let's do Russian. Numbers. Shisla. Ovasist. Do you have it? Do you have it? Ovasist. Does who have what? Okay. So on this high priestess, I'm assuming she's holding something, but there's this white cross on her chest. And the flag, it was a white cross on a red background. But I was saying that maybe it's like a inverse judgment or something, because in judgment, it's a red cross on a white background. Maybe the high priestess is like, oh, that's East. Do you have it? Hold up, hold up, hold up. That makes so much more sense. Oh wait, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. That was dumb. I thought I was onto something there. I really did. I really did. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having a breakthrough moment. But it turns out, in fact, I did not. This is an actual flag. I was like, is that the red cross? And I was like, it's a white cross on a red blank. A white cross with a red background. I was like, no, that is not the red cross. The red cross is a red cross, not a white cross. That's why I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, yeah, no. It is indeed the flag, or at least a flag of Switzerland. The thought makers, friends of the Swiss. Cool. Okay. Anyway, that was weird. Oh, that's East. Did we already see judgment? So the hermit must have been not that great of a shuffle. It's still in between the Five of Pentacles and the King of Swords, but this time the hermit is upright and the King of Swords is in reverse. Under the Five of Pentacles is the King of Wands and the Lover. I think it was the same then. But now before the Lover, instead of the Seven of Cups, it's the Devil. The Devil, the Lover, the King of Wands. I feel like the Devil is here before the Lover because, again, it's like that Five of Wands, Four of Swords energy. It's using repulsion to direct the Knight of Pentacles, rather than like attraction. Guess we'll take that picture. It takes two. I thought one was enough. It's not true. It takes two of us. I don't own the rights to Into the Woods. Ooh, okay. Is this where she was? I think this is where she was last time. Let me consult the picture. Yep, judgment is still in between the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Wands. And they still all have the same configuration, but they're like sideways instead of, they were all upright before. Or at least when I took the picture, they were all upright. Now they're sideways. I'm going to put them upright though. So it was like this. Similar, not enough. This is interesting because if the High Priestess is like Ovasist, I feel like the Knight of Wands is like, have what? I have literally nothing. But this is like an internal thing. So if this is like an internal judgment, there was something that was to be gained by whatever trials or tribulations and the overcoming of them. And that's what the High Priestess is asking if we have. All of these cards are on the same side. They're all the ones that we saw before. So I already know that we passed the Hermit. So I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle it. I was thinking about giving it like a real good shuffle. Justice and the Knight of Pentacles. See, with Justice behind the Knight of Pentacles, I think it's facing the same direction that the Five of Wands and the Four of Swords was. There is something almost like, again, that was that devil energy behind the Lover of the King of Swords. It could be almost an energy of like right person, wrong time. You know? Let's say that we're meant to meet someone when we are 30 because something happens in the teens that goes on until the 20s that is healed and resolved, and then we're meant to meet that person after they have overcome whatever it is that they have gone through. Because if we meet them before, for whatever reason, it's not going to work out. I think this could also be said of truths, beliefs, technologies, anything, right? Like, let's say, for example, that someone has like a gift. Let's go low hanging fruit. Let's say someone has a gift of like mediumship. This is very low hanging fruit, okay? Let's say someone has a gift of mediumship, but they're told as they grow up that like that's evil, or either it's like evil or it's not real, it's fake, it doesn't exist, you're making it up. It feels like there's a purpose behind that gift, but because of someone's initial reaction to or experience with it, it colors their perception. It pushes them away from it. That's like devil energy. That's the Five of Wands and the Four of Swords. I mean, there are plenty of low hanging fruit situations where there are things that could be that are positive and beneficial, but that are spun or presented in a way to make us believe that we don't want it or that it's not our truth when indeed it is. The Four of Cups and the Three of Cups, both in reverse. She's giving Truman in the Truman Show. Like everyone's an actor except for Truman. And someone determines what kind of experience he has or what's going to make good TV. But with this High Priestess energy, it's also giving like the energy of like the devil knows the Bible better than almost anyone because he, devil was there. Anyway, um, so it's almost given that energy, but it's like, so if we go off of like thoughts become things, right? It's like if devil energy can get us to think about something in a certain way, from a certain viewpoint, vantage point, in a certain perspective, in a certain light, then the way that we think about it will sort of like almost like feed itself. And that's like this high priestess energy, right? So again, like if there's something like positive, good, beneficial, whatever, and this is one of those, I wish I had a disclaimer, like not based on any actual events or whatever. Take it as it resonates. It's just how the energy is coming out. But it's like there's something that's actually positive or beneficial. But devil energy gets us to see it in a different type of way. So now our energy towards that thing is one of repulsion rather than attraction. And as we're in that energy, as we're in that mindset, the mechanism, the machinations of the universe, how and thoughts beget things, it will play on that repulsion and generate a lot of static where it's actually supposed to be like clear. But it's like at that point again, that's the like the devil knows the Bible better than anyone energy. It's like devil energy also knows how the machinations of the universe, how thoughts become things works. That's why you plant a thought of whatever. Ooh, the Ace of Pentacles just came out. It was a decent fall, but anything that comes out gets discarded because I'm looking before and after. significators. So it's almost like we just lost the Ace of Pentacles because of that devil energy. This could also be because the hand is magic, it's not the pentacle. This could be like something that we receive from the divine or from another person that we think is going to change our lives for the better. This is almost like the lowest hanging fruit here is in like a story of greed, right? There is someone who sees only what they can get from someone. And so they position themselves to receive the thing. And once they receive the Ace of Pentacles, they like abandon that person, not knowing that the Ace of Pentacles was just a fruit of the labors of this person. Again, it's the hand that's magic, not the pentacle. So they abandon the person. They get the thing that they want, but then the thing doesn't like it doesn't really change anything. It's temporary. It doesn't bring them the happiness that they thought it would, or it doesn't multiply like they thought it would. Because again, it's not the thing, it's the person. And so maybe there's almost now this counterpoint of maybe we meet people exactly when we're meant to. Because that's an energy that doesn't appreciate the person, it appreciates the things and the stuff. Anyway, Nine of Swords, Dreamland, King of Swords. Nine of Swords in reverse. Dreamland facing the same direction as the King of Swords. Almost giving this energy, especially with it being the Nine of Swords. It's like something is a nightmare where it was supposed to be a dream. But with this King of Swords, even with the Nine of Swords, it's almost like it's the point where the dream becomes a nightmare because of the things that we begin to like see and know and feel, right? Especially in regards to this Ace of Pentacles, maybe it's not necessarily immediate, but it's like, wow, the more, again, low hanging fruit, the more this person gets from me, the less I feel like it's about me and more about what I have to offer. Now, because it's the Nine of Swords in reverse, it may be something that is rejected for a long time, a truth that one doesn't want to accept, but that is ultimately like the cold, harsh truth of the situation is they don't care about you. They care about what they can get from you. The little dream fantasy bubble pops. Interesting. Oof. Oof, 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 oof. Judgment, Hermit. We're looking for the Hermit and then the Three of Pentacles. Oh, look, we see the Five of Pentacles and no Hermit. No Hermit. No King of Swords either. We saw the King of Swords. Now we've seen the King of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. But the last time we saw the Hermit was upright. So I shouldn't be surprised that the Hermit is no longer between the Five of Pentacles and the King of Swords. Oh, gosh. Okay. The Seven of Swords, the Hermit, and the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is in reverse in relation to the Hermit. But as I'm reading them, they're both on their sides. This would be like 3 square. This would be like a T square, right? The opposition between the Knight of Pentacles and the Hermit And then the Seven of Swords would be the square in between both of them. The Seven of Swords would square both the Hermit and the Knight of Pentacles, and these two would oppose each other. The Queen of Cups is before the Seven of Swords on her side with the Two of Swords. This is pre-High Priestess and minor High Priestess energies. The High Priestess is already here on the table. And this is after the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles, Two of Swords, Queen of Cups. This is our intuition or discernment getting louder and louder. It goes from minor High Priestess to pre-High Priestess in the space of this Five of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like the Five of Pentacles in reverse in relation to this thread that we're on right now is almost a hypothermic energy. It's when, like freeze burn, when you're so cold that you start to get warm. But if you're so cold that you're starting to get warm, that's like when you're in danger. We actually saw, I think it was in that Global Connections class in the semester of Japanese, we saw a few films. And there was one about a soldier, I think, in the Himalayas, maybe. There was like a group of people and they were getting like hypothermia and dying. And the last guy, he was like in the cold, shivering. And then when hypothermia came in, it was like this beautiful spirit woman that was like trying to put a blanket on him. And then he would like fight and take the blanket off. And it's because, again, like when you're hypothermic and you start to get warm and you're still in an environment that if you're still in that same environment, it's not a good sign. Which is interesting because now that puts a layer on this that's almost like if we would have gotten what we wanted when we wanted it, it wouldn't have ended well. And so, just like with the right person, wrong time, it could be the wrong time for us. There can be things that we're still healing through, mending through. There could be a version of self that we're going to reach that makes us better aligned for the things that are meant for us. Which is why sometimes it's important. Look, that cohesive. Oh gosh, it did it again. Yeah. I guess maybe I picked up my bottle at the right time because that was the cohesive, attaching nature of water yesterday. That's what the horseshoes of the Zephyr, which the Knight of Pentacles does provide us. If we help the Knight of Pentacles battle its ghost from the past, it gives us the horseshoes of the Zephyr that allows us to move through life without those more trauma based emotional attachments and reactions. It would have been right person, wrong time for us. We would have been the wrong person. It's like we're the right person for. I feel like there was just like this like trickster moment. But this is how this can be how journeying, healing, living works. There are certain things that we're attracted to for whatever reason at a certain period of our lives. And because we're attracted to what we're attracted to, we're repulsed by other things. So maybe there is something for us in our 40s. This is just giving a relative time scale. Maybe there's something for us in our 40s that we wouldn't have wanted in our 20s. while we were living our 20s, we were actively avoiding or rejecting whatever it is that we desire in our 40s. And so in the 30s, which is this in between the 20s and the 40s, or as we're maturing and ready to settle down or whatever, we begin this shift. And in the middle of the shift, maybe something in the 20s seemed like devil energy. I was doing this and I was chasing that and I was attracted to all of these other things that ultimately amounted to nothing. And I rejected all of these things that I'm now beginning to want. And so we look at that as like a devil type energy. But when we finish that transition and we get into our 40s and we gain an appreciation for the zeros, the tens, the 20s, the 30s, 40s, life and the journey, everything that it took to get us where we are, we then get this new way of seeing what was once devil energy that stood in the way of everything that we wanted. We now see as either it's what we wanted at the time. We were young. It was whatever, blah, blah, blah. It was fun, but now it's a different phase. It's almost like it takes the sting out of it. It helps us realize the power that we have within ourselves to make our lives what we want them to be. Right. Even for that person, let's say they screw somebody over. Right. And maybe that person, hypothetically, again, this is not based on any actual whatever, but take it as it resonates, meaning that like it's a metaphor, apply it to you how it applies. um, Maybe that person realizes that maybe the pinnacle isn't a dud, maybe it does continue to grow, but they realize that the happiness that they had with the person is worth more to them than what they got from that person, but they only realize it after the fact. And when they realize it, they come into their own whatever. So that when the queen of, or when the high priestess asks them, Ovasist, they can say, yes, like I have it. I have what I was supposed to get through all of these challenges or whatever. This deeper appreciation or a knowing of what one truly wants. And it's not always for reconciliation to happen with that person, right? They could go on and be better for someone else. And then, of course, there's the whole like, well, why couldn't you have been whatever for me? You're whatever for somebody else that you weren't. It's like different people, right? Sorry, it's unrelated. So, with the Seven of Swords, it's like you realize that the Seven of Swords never took anything, which is why the Knight of Pentacles is in reverse in relation to the Hermit, because the Knight of Pentacles realizes it's not about reclaiming the star that the Hermit stole. It's a bygone time, it's a bygone era, it's a bygone age. Again, that was the moon and the sun. It was specifically, well, it was, that's the earth of Leo. But it came out also as the Five of Cups and the Four of Wands. The Earth of Leo is something precipitating from the sun, like solid starlight or sunlight. Solid sunlight that you can fling into the sky to create a new star. Whatever star was missing, you can create a whole new constellation of stars. by like condensing this starlight or sunlight and casting it into the sky. Wow. Cool. We can keep going because we have not seen the Three of Pentacles yet, which means this is the last shuffle. If I don't overlook the Three of Pentacles, Justice is up right now. I feel like last time we saw Justice, it was in reverse. The Sun is no longer next to the world, next to the Hierophant, next to the Moon. The Five of Cups, the Chariot, both Cancerian energies. Okay, I am gonna. So it was the Five of Wands and the Four of Swords were both on their side, pushing the Knight of Wands away. And then we saw the Devil next to the Lover. Now we have the Devil, the Five of Wands, the Four of Swords, and Death. And in Death, you see that the sun is rising. Whatever this was, now we get a different perspective of it. The energy has been transformed, reborn. We realize the point and purpose that it had in our lives. And take that as it resonates. There are some things that happen to people that exist beyond the realm of this is something that you signed up for. This is a lesson for you to learn and heal and grow from. Love whoever did whatever. There's a sliding scale to a lot of things, and there's a modulus of elasticity. And once that modulus of elasticity is broken, the thing is permanently changed. Right? And you can forgive, and that doesn't mean that you allow someone back into your life or whatever. Right? Just throwing that out there. The Three of Pennies, Death, the Moon, and the Six of Swords. Boom. Now we can move forward. Cool. Love that. Love that. With the more clarity. And I feel like also with the moon, this is also a reminder that we don't have to completely understand everything. Because that's almost given me the challenge of the Knight of Swords with that puzzle box of trying to figure out why this happened or why that happened. Sometimes things just happen. There are some things that, like, again, the modulus of elasticity breaks. It's not necessarily to gain some kind of lesson or to whatever. It's on a sliding scale. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And the Seven of Wands, the Fool, is behind that. The World is with the Ace of Swords now. So the Sun, the Moon, and the World, we've seen all of them. I'm looking for the Three of Pentacles. Ooh! We have the Nine of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, and the Tower. Before that, we have the Queen of Swords. After, we have the Eight of Cups. After the Tower is the Eight of Cups. With the Moon up there. And the Sun. And Moon. And the Sun. Maybe some kind of eclipse. Maybe she's giving eclipse energy too. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Cups, upright now. Where we saw the Three of Cups and the Four of Cups. Three of Cups. Was it the Two of Cups and the Three of Cups both in reverse? I know one of them was the Three of Cups in reverse, and it was given an energy of not fake friends. I forget how I said it. Cool. I guess I'll put the ace of coins on top of this. And I will. Oh, I didn't turn these up right. I turned everything up right except for the Hermit and the Knight of Coins are still opposing each other. Now, what's interesting about the Hermit and the Knight of Coins opposing each other is the Knight of Coins is mutable Earth, which is Virgo. The Hermit is Virgo. So the major arcana Virgo energy is opposing court card embodied Virgo energy. Virgo the mystic opposes Virgo, Virgo the human. Seemingly. The Eight of Cups is Saturn and Pisces. The Queen of Swords is Cardinal Air Libra. The Seven of Swords is Aquarius. I forget what it is in Aquarius. So it's interesting that Gemini isn't here. I was just thinking, for some reason, I was thinking about, before I went live, I was thinking about Virgos, maybe because I knew I was looking for the Hermit. I was thinking about Virgo's last reading and the powers of 2 and 3. And I couldn't remember when first somebody asked, but then I was like, oh, yeah, Virgo was in a space of like active manifestation, but Virgo was like switching their alignment without necessarily like stopping the process. So it's not like Virgo switched off the magnet and then moved it and then turned it back on. It's like Virgo still had the magnet on and they were moving it while it was on. So it was a potential for a little bit of chaos as things sort of like settle, or as the salt reforms on the vibrational, like if you put salt, I think it's salt, on a thing and then you set it to vibrate at a certain frequency, the salt will like form a shape. It's like it formed one shape, you're switching the frequency, and now it's like forming a different one. Reconfiguring. But it's interesting. The reason why I say that is because there were some signs that use their oppositions or sister signs. And instead of Gemini being here, Pisces is here, which is the opposition. But again, like we've seen the Hermit go from in reverse to upright. We've seen the 3 times we've seen the Hermit, it's been on a different side every time. Anyway, also the Nine of Pentacles is here, which is somebody else in Virgo. So to the left of the Six of Wands, Judgment, Hermit, and the Three of Pentacles, we have the Six of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Seven of Swords, and the Nine of Pentacles. This feels like there is something that we have been carrying around for a while that it's giving me, let's say that there is a garden, an unkempt garden. I don't want to say this because it's like there's like a boulder or something in the middle. Like first, it's like bare. It's just like soil, right? And then you plant the seeds. The seeds are planted when whoever this resonates for, whatever, when we were young. You sit there in your heartache, waiting on some beautiful boy to. when we were young, Six of Cups, right? There wasn't a lot there. So when a boulder is placed somewhere, it doesn't matter because nothing is there yet. But as the seeds grow, and especially if they're unkempt, as they're allowed to grow, just like wild and free, eventually that boulder becomes something. And the boulder is like this black cat here. This is how she's reading today. The boulder is this black cat. The vegetation, the grass, whatever is growing, it grows around that boulder. So there's a void in the garden, but it's like a fixture. It becomes a part of the garden. And like as the garden grows around the boulder, that's this Queen of Wands energy, right? And then one day, for some reason, maybe intentionally, because of what we wish to welcome or receive with the Queen of Swords is also under the Magician. The Magician is Mercury, is Virgo, and Gemini. It's actually the Ten of Pentacles, the Magician, and the Queen of Swords. Under the Ten of Pentacles is the Ten of Wands. Under the Ten of Wands is the Two of Wands. So as we're looking out into the future, we recognize that there is some kind of incompatibility between but it's almost coming out as like who we are and what we want. Maybe that's it. There's some kind of incompatibility between who or how we are and what we want, what we create, and what we wish to welcome and receive, like a redrawn boundaries. And so we look at that boulder. The boulder is removed, and when the boulder is removed, initially it is a void. When the boulder was there, you couldn't tell that it was a void, right? Like if we go back to potholes, originally there was something in the pothole that like filled it so that the tire didn't drop as low when you drove under it over it. But it's not, maybe it's like corrosive to the road, right? For whatever reason, it breaks down the pavement around it. And so the boulder is removed. When the boulder is first removed, maybe again it feels like there's some kind of void, or maybe there's some kind of initial pain. This boulder could also be something that was a source of like strength. But that being a source of strength is not conducive to receive the things that we want to receive, right? Like let's say again in the situation that someone like does us dirty and they were just using us, and now like we're never going to be used by anybody ever again, so we kind of get a little bit like hardened. But at some point in time we start to want desire, some kind of intimacy or companionship, or something that requires a vulnerability. That vulnerability that is required by the thing directly opposes the thing that we hold for strength, which is I'm never going to let this happen again. I'm never going to get close to somebody again. I'm never going to allow myself to be in this situation. You have to, there's a point in time where we realize that to get what we want, we have to be open to that kind of disappointment. And so we put ourselves out there in a way. The Queen of Wands is how we became strong, or how we became ourselves with that boulder in the garden. But after it's removed, now things can like really begin to prosper and grow in a way that doesn't require that void. That's the left side of this. The right side is the high priestess, the nine of wands, the knight of pentacles, and the tower. This tower, it was already feeling like an energy of like there's something that exists because we are there. And when we remove ourselves from it, it crumbles, or if we add ourselves to a situation, it restructures, just like Virgo changing the frequency and it jumbles around until it locks into its new shape. What's interesting though is I left this row. This is the only row that I left as it came out. So the Knight of Pentacles is heading upwards. It seems like as the Knight of Pentacles heads up, it actually blows the top off of the tower. That's why this tower happens, which is interesting. Is this? Maybe, no, I'm not. I was gonna be like, maybe I'll do a whole like zodiac series. Like, is this like is Virgo the villain part two? First, Virgo's like stealing stars out of constellations to change their shapes and hide things, and now Virgo's causing these towers by blowing the roof off. Do a whole is Aries the villain? Is Taurus the villain? Is Cancer the villain? No. Gemini gets enough of a rap about being the villain, so that's why we don't have to do it. Is Gemini the villain? You know, I always say if Gemini wasn't the in the zodiac, then Pisces would probably get a lot of what Gemini gets. So thank you, Gemini, for being strong and tough when not given a choice. Apparently, anyway, anyway, excuse me. Oh, okay. So again, the high priestess was asking, "Do you have it?" Ovasist. When we're in the nine of wands, we're like, look at it's like this side eye. It's like, I can't believe she's asking me. She sees me over here all bandaged, bruised up, maybe bloody, holding the line, knows that I can't move from my post. And she's asking me if I have it. What is it? What is she looking for? If it is patience, no. If it is any F's to give, no. If it is the time, no. I ain't got it. But again, there's something in the Seven of Swords, Hermit, Knight of Pentacles, where we realize that, in fact, indeed, we do have it. And just like this Pentacle from the Knight of Pentacles unlocked the Desert Library Art Gallery, again, there's something about the movement of that Knight of Pentacles that blows the top off of this tower. Maybe it shatters a glass ceiling, meaning like a personal or a collective glass ceiling. Um, where it was like in a personal glass ceiling again, because of how we adapted to things, there were certain things that were more difficult to access. And so we realized that if we want something more, we have to change, right? We have to be open to being vulnerable. We have to be more punctual if we don't want to get fired from every single job. We have to dedicate some time to learning or honing a craft if we want to take that further. And when we realize that we have it, again, the lid is blown off of this tower. And it's because of this Nine of Pentacles. Like low hanging fruit, if this is in regards to relationship, there was something about the Six of Cups and Queen of Wands that made someone maybe codependent. But after the Seven of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles, that person is now able to be interdependent because there's nothing within themselves that needs to be filled. The Nine of Pentacles is the single independent businesswoman card. I feel like I hear enough people say that. Um, but the Nine of Pentacles is all of one's needs fulfilled, personal abundance. It isn't necessarily bringing legacy or other people into the fold just yet. And when someone shows up to this Three of Pentacles collaboration as a whole individual, knowing what they contribute, knowing who they are and why they're at the table, again, it blows the roof off of this. It breaks that glass ceiling. Now, much, much, much more is capable from these collaborations because whoever shows up more fully. Cool. I might timestamp this to when I actually like read it. And I guess I'm gonna take a picture of it all together. Oh, there's a light in the way. I'll turn the lights off and take a picture after. I guess I could do that now. Give me one moment because I do want to get final cards. Actually, and I'm gonna look before and after the rooftop because the rooftop is a place that we've seen recently actually. The Queen and King of Wands were on that path, and it was peace above chaos. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just leave it as is. Maybe I will leave it as it is. Now I can take a picture with no glare. Cool. And this again, like this is a self opposition. Cool. Maybe I'll do that spread. Maybe not. It's lunchtime. Ooh. And I'm back. Nope. Yep, there we go. Cool. All this from some random parade that we didn't even know we would see or find. Cool. Oh, that's yeast. Have you got? That's what it is. Have you got? Oh, that's yeast. Because in one of the earworms, it's like, to order. Actually, it's in my pocket. I was like, I literally just had my phone. Let's see if I can do this and not get demonetized. Don't you have to be monetized to get demonetized? Let's see if I can do this and the video not be like silenced or banned or whatever. I don't even know. The earworm should be on here. Albums, earworms, EAR, worms. Rapid Russian. Have you got?
У вас есть? У вас есть?
There you go. Oh, that's yeast. I'm like, it's been so long. I don't know why all of a sudden, oh, that's yeast. Have you got? Oh, that's yeast. Okay. Whoa, why are you face up? Why are these cards face up? Oh, these are all the cards that I didn't see. The lover was at the bottom. Oh, and judgment is here. As I put away judgment, the lover was at the bottom of the deck. So I hit these cards that were like face up, and I'm like, whoa, why are y'all face up? Now the lover is right next to judgment because I turned them face down. Cool. 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 All right. Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Cups at the cuts. That, like when we saw the Three of Cups, and what is in, oh my gosh. What is face up? I just saw text. When we saw the Three of Cups in reverse before with that devil energy, again, I think that's what really sparked the like devil knows Bible. So the devil knows that if it can get devil energy, knows that if it can get us to the Eight of Cups, think of something in a certain type of way. That is what we'll see, even without manifestation, right? Um, if our opinion of something is colored strongly enough, no matter what good or positive or what the truth of something actually is, we'll never see it in any way besides how we already see it. So sometimes instead of like what's truth or untruth, it's who gets there first, especially while we're children or impressionable, don't know any better, while we're new to something, right? Because then everything that comes subsequently, if our intuition discernment doesn't tell us off the jump that, hey, something is not completely right here, something's kind of off, if we just accept it, then everything we compare to what we first experienced, right? And again, hopefully, it's like the people who joke, like, oh, when I have a kid, I'm going to tell them that apples are bananas so that when they go to school, they'll be the only person in the class that thinks that that apple is a banana rather than it being what it is, which is an apple. Because wouldn't that be hilarious? I don't think people do it like in real life, but you know, that's what, anyway, it's fine. Final card. It's the Knight of Cups going up. The Knight of Cups opposed to the Devil. But neither one of these is in reverse. Maybe that's how I'll start reading these because they're squares. I get to read these in opposition. This is an interesting energy because if the Knight of Cups gets too far, then the chains will become taut. Maybe because the Knight of Cups is going up and we're talking about truth and whoever gets wherever first, especially if we're new to something. It's like the Knight of Cups is ascending. I don't know if I fully want to go there. This is how it's reading, okay? Take it if it resonates. If it don't resonate, don't take it. Maybe it's just about journeys in general, right? When we're new to something, when we're young, we learn what we learn, and then as we mature, our knowing evolves, matures as we do. There's a certain amount of room for ascension that devil energy leaves. We can exist within the realm of devil energy and ascend. But when we go too high or too far, that's when the chains become tight. That's when you could say, like, dogma begins to become a burden when it limits and restricts more than it empowers and enables, or when practice does the same. So either we retreat back or we break those chains. Opposing the devil is the Page of Swords. facing the same direction as the Knight of Cups. So this is where we start asking questions. And then the Eight of Cups, like fully in reverse. That's when we get the opportunity to walk away from, and this kind of came out in the reading, but it's like it's that point when less and less and less makes sense, and there are more and more and more contradictions with what it is that we already believe. It doesn't have to be specifically related to ascension, or specifically related to anything. That's why you take it as it resonates. When it makes less and less and less sense, and you have more and more and more questions that devil energy can't answer, that's when you slowly make that trip, that journey from all that you knew or know. And it's not easy. It's the Eight of Cups. But when you're at the Eight of Cups, that's when you know it's necessary. So, wow. What a final few cards, huh? Let's see if I can put these back in the box and all the cards face the same way except for the Knight of Cups because it was the final card. I kind of love that. At first I was like, I mean, I don't know if I was really like whatever. But again, like it makes sense how something may not be like fully in reverse, but how it may oppose another energy within the same reading or whatever. Cool. I knew I wasn't going to use these, but I just wanted to shuffle them. So I'm going to get a final card anyway because I pulled them on the box. So. A final place. The road was at the bottom of the deck, though. Final place, please. I want a clean flip or a clean fall. Since I'm just reading these, there's no limit. No limit on the cards that can come out. I'm just going to read them. If any come out. We'll do 5, 4, 3, 2. Last shuffle. Nothing came out. Top of the deck is the arcade that we've seen like every time I use this deck. Virtual worlds connected. Press play. We actually see people in this. We see people today. We didn't see anybody last time. Bottom of the deck is the forest. Nature's playground. Escape the mundane. Escape the mundane. Virtual worlds connected. Press play. We actually saw, because I want to use more context with these, I feel like the last time we saw a forest, it was the one it was a Dungeons and Dragons Magic the Gathering card booster pack. I think it was the last one I opened before I bought more. But it was like the path in the forest that had opened up. It was like this clearing wasn't here 4 days ago. It's that ripened pear that we can now smell. It's the place in the forest to which there are no guides. Or that's how it came out originally. Maybe there have been people who have made it to that clearing and have taken it upon themselves to be trail guides for others to help, or at least attempt to help others reach those points within themselves. Maybe something's changed. I don't know. When it came out, it was like there's no guidance to this place. There's just a sort of like a magnetic pull or resonance that when an alignment happens or when the time is right, one feels. It reveals itself almost. Are these the Earthways? I think these are the Earthways. And the aquarium with the underwater world's mesmerizing discoveries. I talked about how it made me think of the waterways in that book I was reading and how they can travel from any body of water to any other body of water. It also gives, like, I've seen it with mirrors where people who have like mirror powers um, can go from one mirror to any other mirror or chimney to chimney, alluvian to alluvian. I'm playing Dragon Age Veilguard. Hey! Um, it's like all of the world's forests are connected. That's this. But also the arcade came out last time as like the virtual worlds connected. It connects waterways and earthways and it connects all of the ways. It may be tuning or it may just be open. I think too, it's almost an illusion to the whole thoughts become things. What we see, plan, manifest, how we navigate in the virtual world becomes this forest, affects the forest through which we walk. At least to some degree. So cool. I'm actually just finishing. I hope you all have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path journey and way you find. And until next time, I'm gonna eat some lunch and then probably play more Dragon Age Veilguard. And also be like productive or whatever.